Hello, everyone. I'm Chiante Jones, the founder and financial coach behind Dollars and Change. It's good to be here again. It's been a little while since I've gone live, and I was trying to do this pretty much all month to do some reflections on 2020, but the stuff just kept happening in 2021. I just couldn't have time to reflect. You know, insurrection, impeachment, inauguration. So things have just been kind of crazy these first 3 weeks of 2021 already. So but feeling hopeful at this point after the inauguration this past Wednesday. So uh, feeling pretty good. But I still wanted to come on and do these reflections of financial lessons from 2020. 2020 was definitely a year to remember, but there were also, and it had some hardships, but it also had some positive things. So everybody, wasn't in a bad situation, but there were definitely some financial lessons to be learned and just the general life lessons to be learned. But I'm going to reflect on those financial lessons. So, for those who are new to me, I am Chiante Jones, and I am a financial coach that specializes in helping professional women to eliminate their credit card debt so they can have more financial flexibility in their lives. So I'm going to jump right in to the lessons that I took away. So hopefully you've taken away some lessons too, but I decided to just put them all together collectively. So if you missed some or didn't think about some, here's some food for thought as you think about your finances and your financial life and some things that we can all take away from 2020. So the first lesson that comes from 2020 is to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Savings do matter. I mean, things change so quickly, from before the pandemic to after, that a lot of people were left in a really tough spot because they had no savings and were essentially living paycheck to paycheck. So my philosophy is always to expect the best but prepare for the worst. You got to definitely plan ahead, and so that's where your emergency savings come into play for exactly situations like what, or other situations like what happened in 2020. I mean, loss of income or loss of your job or whatever else. Just being prepared for whatever may come, and you might not be able to prepare for everything, right? But it's better to have some savings there, and to not be living paycheck to paycheck. So that was definitely a lesson to take away from 2020. To go along with that, another lesson, so lesson two, is to manage your living expenses. Particularly your recurring expenses. So how much how much your house, your mortgage or your rent is, or how much your car is, or how much some of your other bills are, or anything else that you buy that becomes a basically recurring expense every month. Is to really manage those things, manage your living expenses. So the goal should be to not only live below your means, but I'm sorry, not within your means, but below your means. So minimizing and eliminating recurring expenses to the extent that you can. That does not mean to totally deprive yourself, when things are going well, but to also just to keep that in mind so that if anything does hit the fan, you are in a better position to be able to maintain your living expenses, or if you need to have come up with some money quick to to replace income, then it's easier to do that when your living expenses are generally lower. And I think about this time where we were house shopping. My husband and I were house shopping, and I was, of course, running the numbers on everything because that's what I do. And so, we had our budget and everything, and I remember talking to the realtor about a certain price for a house and thinking about what the monthly mortgage amount would be for that. And her response was, I'm less worried about the payment. I'm more worried about the total amount outstanding, like your total balance. Well, of course, that's important as well. But I'm thinking about how much is it going to cost, how much do I have to come up with every month to pay this, and how does that impact my cash flow monthly? Because that's important to me. It's like I don't want to be strapped for cash every month or living house poor, right? So that's the part of managing your living expenses, is buying something that is well within what you can actually afford, and just creating a lifestyle that's well within what you can actually afford. So if something ever happens or disrupts your income, then you can still continue to try to the extent possible, maintain that lifestyle. I also apply the same concept when it comes to like buying a car. My car now has been is thankfully fully paid off, but I even when I bought my car, despite putting down a large down payment and being able to afford a higher payment, even still with that, I financed it still for 5 years just to give myself the room, with a lower payment. So if anything happened, I could, easily make the payment. Now my intention was always to pay it off faster than that, and I always had that option. But I just gave myself that space, and that's something that I like to do. Sometimes there's a trade-off with that, as far as maybe a higher interest rate or whatever. So you have to really look at the situation to see what makes sense. But that in my mind, I'm always trying to manage what my monthly expenses are to keep them easy to maintain or easy to to keep up. And a lot of that comes with being clear on needs versus wants as well, and the trade-offs that come along with the choices that we make. So definitely a lesson to take from 2020. Another one, a lesson 3, is to create your own security. I mean, things changed so quickly when the pandemic hit. I mean, like I went in to the office on a Tuesday. By that Friday, the whole weekend, the whole world was different. We was getting on lockdown. Shelves, all toilet paper and paper towels were gone. So I mean, like things can change so quickly. And while it may not be as extreme as a pandemic like last year, um, we think there's always a level of uncertainty, right? There's always a level of uncertainty out there. You could be laid off tomorrow from your job. So really, what seems secure, and stable and everything is somewhat of an illusion because that can always change. Even creating our own security, like that, we can do that to the extent that we can, but things can always change. I mean, really, we are only a few bad choices or a few misfortunes away from possibly being in a really bad financial situation. So we do what we can with what we know, but we try to create our own security rather than relying on, say, a company to provide that for us. Yeah, we love our corporate job or whatever and what they offer, but we also know we don't want to rely on them to provide our security. Let's try to create that for ourselves. So lesson 4 is to establish multiple streams of income. So again, corporate job, great, right? Use those funds to help you invest and do other things to create other streams of income. That's exactly what I do in my job. All right. I mean, your job is like your business, your biggest financer, basically, to be able to do the other things that you want to do. So think about ways that you can earn income outside of just your paycheck. Whether that be royalties from a book or rental income or starting your own business or interest and dividend income, selling things, having a part-time job, whatever it is. There's a multitude of ways to create additional income, but think about that because that helps. Having diversified income streams will help to when something happens with one, possibly you can keep some money coming in from something else. So think about how to establish multiple streams of income. And I know creating a business is not for everybody. Everybody doesn't have that aspiration. For a long time, I had no entrepreneurial aspirations at all. So that didn't happen until maybe like 4 years ago. So just think about that though. There's other ways besides just a business. You can invest in someone else's business, right? You don't have to have your own if that's not for you. But think about ways to establish multiple streams of income and diversify your income. Lesson 5: position yourself to take advantage of opportunities. And I've talked about this before in a prior video. So just because there was a lot of people did run into hardships and misfortunes in 2020, but not everybody was doing bad. I mean, I'm thankful to say that personally, me and my family didn't, struggle. We had to quarantine and all those other things that happened, but financially we were fine. We didn't lose our streams of income. But we were actually able to position ourselves to take advantage of opportunities. When the real estate crisis hit, several years ago, 2008 and such, real estate plummeted. We were actually able to capitalize on that by buying a short sale, which we could later sell to generate a large amount of money to purchase our current house. So there's always times, even in a downturn, you can, there's still somebody thriving or capitalizing on opportunities there, but you have to be able to position yourself and your finances to be able to do that. So if and the time to do that is now. When you are having good income or whatever else, you position yourself now to be able to take advantage of opportunities later. And I'm even learning how to do that still myself now. I'm actually enrolled in an investment course and learning how to learn more about trading and being able to capitalize and take advantage of opportunities whether the market is going up or down. So there's always more to be learned, and we just have to position ourselves to be ready for whatever comes along. Lesson 6: we are going to need to break the barriers through economic empowerment as far as racial injustice, social injustice, equity, equality, all of that stuff. You need financial resources, and that's just a fact of the matter. You need financial resources to really move those causes forward. Really, in a lot of situations, money talks, and you need to be able to support those causes, to push them forward, to do what you need to do. And it's not that you got to go out and do all the things, but economic empowerment starts with you. Start taking care of your own house and your own family, and do your part to contribute to our overall, as a black community and minority community and everything else, and as a country, to move us forward collectively. So part of breaking those barriers is economic empowerment. starting with you. Okay. Lesson 7. This is a really important one. This is not just for financials and finances, but also just in life. It's to practice gratitude. Be grateful. There were a lot of hardships, and so many people lost in 2020 and continuing now into 2021. And despite whatever has happened over the last year or could be happening now, there was always something, always, always, always something to be grateful for. And even if it's the smallest thing that you can show appreciation for, do that. Practice gratitude and everything. You know, it's not about gratitude once you get to a certain destination or when something else happens. It's gratitude as part of the journey, part of your financial journey and part of your life journey. So it's just, I found it to be something that has grounded me. It's just to practice gratitude and be thankful because there's always so much to be thankful for. And I think, really honestly, I think abundance and prosperity comes along from being thankful for what you already have and being grateful for what you already have. Because you're, I promise, in a better situation than someone else. So be thankful for that, despite what your situation may look like. You are, you do have certain privileges that other people don't have. You have been able to accomplish certain things that other people haven't been able to do at this point because of maybe the opportunities or privileges that you have. So just be grateful in all. And know that, and being grateful that whatever happens, it's all working together for your good and the greater good, right? So, and something I've done to practice gratitude is I started a gratitude jar about 4 years ago. This, I think, is my fourth year doing it, where each week I just write a note of something that I'm grateful for from that prior week. And then on New Year's Eve, I take some time to read through all the little slips I put in. And it's been such a great thing to do, to be able to kind of look back over the year, reflect, and just remember those moments and what we do have to be grateful for, right? All right, so those are my 7 lessons from financial lessons from 2020. So 1 is to stop living paycheck to paycheck. 2 is to manage your expenses. 3 is to create your own security. 4, establish multiple streams of income. 5, position yourself to take advantage of opportunities. So financially position yourself to take advantage of opportunities. 6, help to break barriers through your own economic empowerment. All right. And 7 is to practice gratitude. Okay. All right, y'all, that's my live for today, my little nuggets for today. Hopefully you found these helpful, or just something to at least think about as you reflect on 2020, no matter how great or how hard of a year it may have been. These are all financial lessons that we could take from there to apply going forward and to start doing something about these now. Right now is the time. If you are interested in taking the lessons and doing something about them and making some changes to your finances, I have some openings now. I was booked up for a little while, but I have openings now. So feel free to schedule a consultation with me. It's complimentary, no hassle, just a time for us to be able to talk and get to know each other a little bit better if we don't already know each other, and then to see if working together would be a good fit. Okay? All right, y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you all next time.